Hello. Excuse us for this time delay. Thanks for Windows Vista.
Desculpas probleminhas aí com o Windows Vista. Acho que todo mundo entendeu o que está escrito na tela, né? Todo mundo entendeu?
Yeah. Hopefully we can start. My name is Dmitry Kuzmenko. I am presenting here IBC's own company.
Ele está se apresentando, o nome dele é Dmitry Kuzmenko, ele está representando a IBC.
Our company produces tools to repair database, Firebird and database, and analytic and monitoring tools also.
A empresa dele produz ferramentas para recuperar os bancos de dados corrompidos, também ferramentas de análise de bancos de dados, tanto para entender e para Firebird.
I need to my equipment. Okay, since I don't see anything on my computer, I will come to you. This will be two parts of this presentation. First part, how to use our tools to understand performance of your system. And second, about hard disk configuration, because it's a very important question. Usually we have three black boxes in our system. First black box is a client application. Second is a server. And third is a database. Okay, let's speak about all of them. For a client application, the main thing is the memory and traffic between server and application. For the server, it's important memory, sorting, and what it's doing with the database. And the database itself, since we work with a versioning server, can have a garbage in it. But the main thing is transactions here. They are producing traffic and garbage and so on. So, what we can do with IBA analysis? It's analyze database state. Mostly about transactions, the intensity, freezing, moving, and performance. Also, you can understand what's inside the tables, how many records, versions, blocks, how tables are fragmented, and at least what the size in megabytes of the table. And indices, how indices that is in your database are good or bad for your application.
Ele está querendo porque o seu trabalho em si, os seus convidados são não pouco inteligentes.
Here what you see at the screen for some database statistics.
Essa tela está apresentando então algumas estatísticas do banco de dados.
Maybe back. Here is the graph about transactions. Please, can you tell who even saw GStat output?
Essa seria a análise que era dada com o resultado do GStat, que é o resultado do valor.
Anybody looked at GStat output?
Alguém aqui já usou o GStat para ver
Okay, thank you. When you see at GStat, you see just numbers.
Quando você vê os resultados do GStat, você está vendo apenas números, difícil de entender.
You can't understand how good or bad these numbers. But here you can see, for example, how many transactions are running each day.
Ali facilmente você consegue ver quantas transações estão acontecendo por dia.
So this database is working for 5 days.
Esse banco de dados está ativo há 5 dias.
And it has about 200,000 transactions each day.
E ele tem mais de 200 mil transações por dia.
So when there are a lot of active transactions, IB analyst will warn you about this.
Então, quando você tiver muitas transações ativas, o utilizar de analista vai precisar alertar sobre essa situação.
But of course, this information can be understood by IB analyst only if it's a production database.
Essa informação ela vai ser útil para ser analisada pela ferramenta, pela portaria de banco de dados que é de produção, que é sendo usado.
So don't care much about this information if you use IB analyst with a database only being developed.
Essa informação que você conseguiu ter analista, utilizando ele no banco de dados que está em desenvolvimento, que já não está em produção ainda, não é muito significativa, porque você não tem um uso real ainda.
When I first showed this screen to my friend, one of my friends, he said, "Wow, green, red, and blue cells." It's cool, but I don't understand anything. Next slide. IB analyst also not gives the visual representation of statistics, but it can give a recommendation.
A ferramenta nos mostra, não só apenas mostra visualmente as informações sobre as estatísticas, mas ela também gera relatórios visuais sobre elas.
Maybe later in the special session we can show you how to do this and how it looks like. Usually there are two kinds of reports. First is your database is good, you don't need to do anything. And the second one, this is bad, you need to do this, that, and so on. So the next tool is IB Transaction Monitor.
o transaction monitor, monitor de transações executivas.
It consists of three tools. First is configuration assistant.
Ele consiste em três ferramentas. A primeira seria o assistente de configuração.
Second is a monitor itself.
O segundo seria o próprio monitor.
And the third is a viewer. Viewer.
E o terceiro seria o visualizador.
You can place monitor on the server or in another computer and view your statistics on any another computer too.
Você pode ter um monitor instalado ou um servidor ou em qualquer outra máquina da rede e pode ver os resultados também em qualquer máquina.
So the usual way when you install transaction monitor, you send us statistics and we tell you what we and you see at the viewer. So we help you to understand the statistics.
Então, a maneira mais simples é você gera as estatísticas e envia para ele analisar e usar ele em cima daquilo, aquela análise das estatísticas.
Let's see the example. This is statistics for maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. 5 days.
As estatísticas referem 5 dias de uso.
You can view as many days as you wish.
Você pode selecionar quantos dias você quiser
on the same graph.
no mesmo gráfico.
So you can see what when something unusual happens with your database.
Então é fácil de você descobrir quando alguma coisa estranha aconteceu com o seu grafo.
Okay. Good. Let's see what the green, blue, and red lines are.
Vamos entender então cada uma dessas categorias significa.
Really, you can see the so-named active transactions. When application starts a transaction, for example, some form, it's being active.
Além disso, você vai ver as transações ativas. Então, a operação estável, a transação, ela ficaria em transação.
And active transactions prevent garbage collection.
As transações ativas, elas seguram a coleta, o garbage collection do servidor, que é a coleta de lixo.
So the bigger this difference, the more garbage you may have.
Então, quanto maior essa diferença que está representada pela tela, mais sujeira, mais lixo é reservado mesmo.
But of course, there may be no garbage because transactions may not even change the data.
Pode ser uma situação que não deve ser virada sujeira, porque a transação talvez simplesmente está esperando as informações para colocar na área.
Anyway, this picture is from some kind of bad system.
E como esse gráfico representa sistema não muito bom, muito otimizado.
Here you see when some transaction is being rolled back or one connection of your application is lost.
Aquela linha que está representada pela tela representa quando uma transação foi dada rollback, ou então quando caiu a conexão daquela.
So you can easily see when this happens.
Fica fácil de você ver quando isso aconteceu, olhando o gráfico e vendo ali para chegar na parte de baixo do gráfico, tem uma hora. Então, de hora que aconteceu a queda da conexão, de hora que era um rollback na transação.
Here is the special artifact we found in Firebird that affects garbage collection also. So when you see the difference between the dark green and blue line, it's bad too.
Isso foi uma coisa interessante que nós falamos também, afeta a performance. Quando você vê uma diferença entre a linha verde escura e a linha azul, isso significa que a performance está sendo prejudicada.
And here is potential garbage.
E essa indica a sujeira potencial que está sendo gerada aqui no momento.
So another kind of graph is the intensity of transaction in your system.
Outro tipo de gráfico é a intensidade das transações do seu sistema.
Transaction monitor takes information from database every minute.
O monitor de transações ele recupera as estatísticas do banco de dados a cada minuto.
So it knows how much transactions your applications are starting.
Então, ele tem como saber quantas transações estão sendo iniciadas pela sua aplicação.
For example, I hope it's seen from your place. The yellow lines is the intensity of transactions, and there are highest number 1,300.
Então, a linha amarela representa a intensidade das transações e tem um pico ali que vai até 1.300.
Here is the lunchtime, you see. No people working with your application, with your database and application.
Então, ali naquela área onde a linha amarela está bem baixa, representaria o horário do almoço, onde pouca gente, ninguém está mexendo no banco de dados.
And here is the end of the working day. You also can understand how long people are working in your company.
E olhando ali também a queda da transação no final do dia, você pode também saber até que horas as pessoas estão trabalhando na sua empresa.
The other kind of graph is real active transactions. It can be taken from Firebird 1.5.
Então, os seus dados seriam sobre transações ativas e transações ativas.
As you see from the previous graph, it's the same lunchtime.
Como vocês podem ver, comparando o gráfico anterior, ela está representando o mesmo período de almoço.
But about 40 transactions are still active.
Mas você consegue ver que tinha 40 transações que ainda estavam ativas naquela hora.
This means that your applications have long active transactions while some input form is open.
Isso pode indicar que a sua aplicação está mantendo transações abertas por um longo tempo, porque a pessoa está no form, a transação foi aberta e a pessoa não sabe de forma aberta e a transação está ativa toda a equipe.
This graph is also good to find are there any lots of transactions.
Esse gráfico também é bom para encontrar transações que estão perdidas.
When you see real active grows higher,
Quando você vê aumento brusco da linha,
so some transactions, for example, ID transaction component, you need to close. Need to commit all that.
dados de componentes que estão para uma transação, eles não deveriam ser comutados a transação.
This also helps for systems where lot of different applications, some are robots, usual applications, and so on.
E a luz para você lembrar sistemas que comportam aplicações diferentes de várias empresas.
Here you see active transactions go higher and all others still stay still.
Você pode ver um aumento anual das transações ativas, enquanto a outra se mantém parada, estagnada.
What do you think? What caused this?
Ele está perguntando para vocês saberem dizer que situação causa essa deficiência.
The answer is a developer slept over his plate with IDXpert session open.
Ele está falando que provavelmente o programador dormiu ou deixou uma sessão de IDXpert aberta.
IDXpert is a good tool, but you do not need to stay for some hours opening on production database.
Então, ele é uma ferramenta muito boa, mas você não precisa abrir ele e deixar aberta por horas enquanto o usuário está na produção.
Maybe. Okay. Also, you may see combining this graph when performance is getting worse.
Combinando os gráficos, como está sendo mostrado aí, você consegue visualizar rapidamente quando a performance piora.
As you see, the active transactions are growing. Active transaction count is growing. Red line.
Então, você vê pela linha vermelha aqui as transações ativas estão só aumentando.
And all the transactions, all the snapshots and so on are still at the same value.
Então, as transações ativas passadas, que estão abertas, estão abertas.
So, if your application updating data, there are more and more record versions in the database.
Então, se a sua aplicação está atualizando, mexendo nos dados, talvez você começar a criar muito mais versões dos registros.
And reading of this data is being slower and slower.
E ler essas informações começa a ficar cada vez mais lento.
So, by the yellow graph, you see applications were fine, but then they starting to have some performance problems. Right?
Pelas linhas amarelas aí, você vê o crescimento das transações e no momento que elas começam a gerar problemas de performance. Lembrando que aqui embaixo do gráfico tem as horas.
And then when about 17 hours, the problem was fixed.
Então, por causa das 5 horas da tarde, o problema foi resolvido. Você tem ali que a bandeira
Some applications closed the transaction.
provavelmente as aplicações que estavam com as transações abertas, segurando ali, elas fecharam as transações, então a minha rede ali, ela tem um salto de 50% muito bom.
I think that this presentation will be available after the conference, so people can review it. You can tell.
Está falando de como ele vai deixar essa palestra para vocês baixar se quiser, para vocês podem analisar mais calma esse gráfico.
So, these graphs are fine, but the main question, what application, when and where in code started this transaction?
Mas não é legal, mas a questão principal é qual a aplicação, quando e em que parte do código esses problemas começaram a ser gerados.
Unfortunately, we can't answer this question.
Infelizmente, essas questões não podem ser respondidas.
This can be answered by special temporary system tables.
Poderia ser respondido com a ajuda de uma tabela temporária de sistema.
But not completely, because one application can start a lot of transactions,
Mas mesmo através de sistemas, não seria totalmente possível iniciar isso, porque uma aplicação pode utilizar diversas transações.
and using these tables you still can't understand what part of your application started this transaction.
Mesmo olhando nessa tabela, você ainda não consegue identificar qual pedaço da sua aplicação iniciou essas transações.
So it's up to you the developer. So you need to understand your code yourself.
Está falando que acaba se trabalhando no próprio desenvolvedor de usar o código, ele vai transformar a situação de uma série de performance.
I think we finished with the first part of the presentation and we are going to the second. We have a lot of support contracts, but sometimes the hardware is very bad even for big systems. I mean, there is a huge, big computer with only one hard drive. But the correct configuration of hard drives can improve performance up to 2 or 3 times. Also, good disk configuration helps you not to lose your data. How much time do you have? How much time do you have? Lunch before that. Since we work with a database server, the main git test is a database. It's being read and written. Another task is being performed by server is sorting and indexing. In this case, database is being read and temporary space is being write. Sorting is two parts. First part when data is being read from database and written to temp space. And then when sort file is being read, no, the database is still is not being read by the server. Backup is also reads the database and writes to the SAM file. And we do a lot of tasks. First, it reads backup file. It writes to the database. And then after the end, it creates indexes. So don't do all this on one hard drive. Let's count again. We have a database. We have operating system, of course. We have temporary space somewhere. And we have to place backup files somewhere. If you do not have much money, you can buy only 2 hard drives. First for the operating system and temporary space, and second for the database, but not for the backup. Really, I am impressed that right now any desktop computer can have a RAID. So if you can arrange a RAID on your server, do this. RAID 0 is only for home users, so please don't use it for your database. It is very fast, but it is not fail-safe. RAID 1 just gives you a copy of your disk. RAID 10 is increases performance and enables mirroring. And RAID 5 have no performance increase, but have the greatest data safety. The best choice is RAID 10 or RAID 5. But again, please make a backup of your database. We had a case when 6 disks were organized in RAID 10, 3 and 3. Backup was not made for 2 years. And then one of the disks crashed. Unfortunately, RAID 1 mirroring wasn't able to restore the other mirrored disk. So I can say that each third page of the database was empty. So it couldn't be fixed anyway. 2 years of data was lost. I hope you were reading this while I was talking. The main issue here is the RAID rebuild time. Manufacturers usually don't say what rebuild time your RAID will have.
Muitas empresas não se preocupam em quanto tempo o sistema de vai levar para fazer o sistema de volta.
For example, if you have 700 gigabytes hard drive, it can be 24 hours to rebuild the mirror, for example.
Por exemplo, nós passamos um garagem de 700 GB, nós demoramos
24.
24 horas para construir o sistema.
The system will work, but performance will be better.
O sistema não vai parar, mas a performance vai estar muito ruim durante esse tempo.
So don't buy a huge disk.
Não aconselho ninguém comprar aparelhos muito grandes.
Current databases, very big Firebird databases, have about 1,500 of gigabytes. 150 gigabytes. Usually Firebird databases and big databases have big size. 150 gigabytes. 100 and half. So you can easily buy a 300 gigabyte hard drive. And this will be enough for years, even if you start from 5 megabyte database. But this small small size of the disk will decrease the rebuild time. We had a talk about physical disks, but what about logical disks? The good choice.
Ele falou que agora sobre discos físicos, né? A hardware, o HD, e agora ele vai falar então de discos lógicos.
The good is to place all of these on separate logical disks.
Então ele recomenda colocar cada desses discos lógicos separados.
So operating system on one drive, on one logical disk.
Então, na verdade, esse disco lógico você ia particionar, tá? Então, o sistema operacional, uma partição.
Virtual to another, then on third, and so on.
Então, a memória virtual uma outra partição, espaço temporário outro, e aí vai.
In the beginning, first, don't place backup on the same hard drive that database is.
Então, a primeira regra, não coloca aquele backup no mesmo banco de dados que
and don't place, of course, backup on the same logical drive. Logical disk on logical disk. The funniest corruption, if it can be named so. The funny. When someone puts a huge movie on the same drive, the database and backup. When you start to back up your database, and space and no space left on this drive, the backup will be incomplete. Server can't write data to the database, and database will be corrupted. So you will have incomplete backup and broken database. very good combination. This is from an article, a new article that has not been published yet. It's about backup speed for different protocols. And different servers also. We have tested Firebird 1.5, Firebird 2.0, Interbase, Gatil, and so a lot of versions. But the most show, all of them show the same picture. This is the local host, I mean TCP/IP backup speed. We took a 10 gigabytes database. And this is not a server, it's just a desktop computer. Simple desktop computer. This is the local protocol. It's faster, but it don't work on any computer and with any Firebird Interbase version. And this is services API backup. And this is the faster. And the last one, the services API backup that was made on the same hard drive. You see the 30% difference. I hope you will read the whole article soon. Maybe Carl helps me to translate this to Portuguese. And some words about new Firebird 2.0 feature and backup. Comparing to the original backup, it seems that the silver bullet. Yep. Let's see. It's very fast. It allows to make incremental backups that can help you to restore database from further specified point of time. So what's better than backup? Backup made by and backup is not a database. You need to restore it. Even if this process of restoring and backup is fast, it's still about 2, 3, or 4 times slower than copying database to some place.
Mas mesmo assim ele chega a ser 3 vezes mais lento do que copiar o banco de dados fisicamente para outro lugar.
And the most bad that logical corruptions, database corruptions are not visible during the end backup, since in backup uses page copy.
Os piores tipos de corrupção que existem aí, eles não são essas corrupções não são detectáveis durante o processo de determinado.
And of course, backup makes the same size, backup of the same size of the database.
E nesse caso, o backup ele vai ter pelo menos o mesmo tamanho do banco de dados.
But current these sizes are enough to be used. So the conclusion is that you still need sometimes to combine end backup and usual backup just to test your database. I will tell about this situation at my next presentation about database corruption. So, as I said, even if you took or bought ID analyst and IDTM and don't understand the pictures, we can tell you about this. Just send us statistics.
Então, se vocês não entenderem o que o analista hoje
we can explain the graphs because we have seen about 200 different databases. Thank you. Thank you for your attention.
Performance of the server during the monitoring is deprecated?
No. No, not at all. Monitor only takes information about transaction state. And it takes about not even a second. We have tested, we're using this tool at a lot of systems with Firebird Super 7, Firebird Classic, and everything is okay. You mean that Picture about backup speed? Yes, debug all the way. And even for local protocol, local hosts and services APIs. You know, for the services API, there is no difference what tool do you use, debug, IDSF, or some other kind of tool. Because servers makes the backup. But in this case, you can stop the backup. You can stop the backup only stopping the server. No, and backup works very well. It copies database page by page. It doesn't check what's in the page.
Make sure that you understood correctly. If you are doing a backup with debug and you stop in the middle of the process, is there any chance to get the database corrupted?
No. Debug is a usual application that reads the data.
In the case of transactions, if you usually start transaction, do data manipulation, right? State instructions, and close the transaction just after doing the manipulation of the data. But if you have some read transactions, just like open it. This can decrease the performance.
If you use the read committed transaction parameters, such a transactions can live forever without affecting the performance. Read committed. Such transactions that only reads the data.
ele colocou que é livre comigo, ou seja, transações que o aumento livre comigo só falam em leitura, não falam nada. Essa é uma questão.
And the comment, you must not be afraid of long-running transactions. By long-running, for example, I mean 1 hour. It's the long-running transaction.
Então, eu não tem medo de levar as transações ativas. Ele considera uma transação, vamos dizer, está aberta por muito tempo, aquela que passa de 1 hora. Amém?
Virtual machines installed, like VMware and stuff. Do you think the RAID base is useful in this kind of system? Any difference?
I think RAID 5 will be useful because I think RAID 5 will be very useful. I think I understand this question.
Speaking about RAID, if you have, for example, two RAID plans with 2 disks at once. So operating system in one RAID, another RAID with another the database, and if it works by having only one RAID down, all the RAID using the same RAID. To the 3 RAIDs, separated RAIDs.
This question is mostly about how paranoid are you. You may use 10 separate disks for your operating system, virtual memory, as I showed on the slide. But you may use one simple disk for the operating system without RAID, any RAID, and you may use special how do you name hot swap system, so you can copy the disk before you change something in operating system. So you may you backed up the operating system. I think when you use it on server, you change operating system very rare, not often. And for the other, yes, you can place database on the RAID. But if you want to place backup on the RAID, I don't think. Temp space. I've heard about systems for MSC Cloud where temporary database was placed on the RAID 0 built with 5 hard drives. It was amazingly fast, but I don't think you need to use this for temporary space or Firebird. It depends. You may, as I said before, temporary space is used mostly for indices and sorting. So indices are being created when you are restoring the database, and when you have a lot of sorting queries, then it's planned sort. But if you don't have them, so maybe it will be enough to have a temporary space allocated on the operating system as it's by default. By default, 10 points somewhere deep inside Windows folder. So.
Eu não vou dar o que ele falou. A pergunta foi que você é. Por exemplo, o sistema operacional não necessariamente vai ler na rede. Você colocar em uma área de um só, como já tem o sistema operacional, um ambiente individual, um ambiente modificado, a gente vai programa lá, e não sairia a alçada do sistema operacional dentro dele. Aí, por exemplo, o espaço de armazenamento temporário da rede, esse foi um exemplo do banco MySQL, onde colocaram o espaço de armazenamento temporário do MySQL na rede 0, com 5 HDs, e a performance foi fantástica.
Speaking about transactions, what is more interesting better for performance? The programmer gets the data and puts it in the client machine memory, compose the transaction, and manipulate the information, calculations and stuff, and send back to the database. Or, of course, the programmer is much more work in this kind of situation. Or you can keep the transactions open and do the calculations, and after that, finish the process.
I see that mostly two different statistics in transaction monitor. Do you need to translate? One is where transactions are very short, but there are a lot of transactions. For example, 2 million per day. There is no problem in transaction count. It's okay for performance. It's okay for performance. But if there will be some transaction started, long edge transaction started, performance will fail down much faster. Other kind of systems have not so short transactions, and of course these systems do not have a lot of transactions. Usually 300,000 each day. 2 and 5 zeros. In these systems, transactions can be 1, 2, 3, 10 minutes wide. No problem. So the worst case when your application just starts transactions and never ends it with commit or all that. Or you have lost such a transaction inside the code, some form, and so on. have only one statistic that for the database with a bad performance and very good statistics. We're still investigating this case. I don't know why this is happening, but mostly cause of bad performance is transactions. Transactions. So garbage. I mean, there are some versions. Garbage collecting and so on. This is the main cause of performance. So you may check database statistics with this stuff to understand where versions. What tables have the most more versions than usual or something. Or you, of course, may use IB Analytics. It points you exactly to the tables that have a lot of versions. Yes, of course. Nothing is perfect.
Qual que era a segunda parte dessa pergunta? Oh, yeah. We used to have an estimation of the performance, the positions, when you turn on perfect rights and compare it to turn it off.
No. Yes, there are still there are corruptions can be when you turn post price on. I said that nothing is perfect in this world. And about second part, too hard to answer because some 5-6 years ago it was the big difference. 5 or 6 years ago it was the big difference between post site on and off. Then hard drive became better, so the difference. Right now I know some systems that use post write off and have UPS, unified power supply. And it's okay. How big is your database? You may backup will be fast, but you may use in backup. It will be much faster. So it's okay. You can. I suggest.
depending on the number of users connected to the
Mhm.
database, we have some suggestions for the use cases like John,
Really no. There is no. You may have only one user that loads your database completely. What operating system do you use? Windows, okay. On Windows, I suggest to use Performance Monitor and to see how hard drive is loaded. And check, turn force drive off and on, and check the load. So there is no numbers. Disks are now very different, so you may only compare by yourself. В сравнении frequent on Linux, much frequent on Linux. Maybe the hard drive or some drivers the problem, I think. Really, we don't have statistics we don't have a difference between for the database corruption on Windows, Linux, and so on. The causes of corruptions are often the same. Hard drive problems, server problems, code base is the same. So. Thank you. Obrigado.